Did you like your fitting or what?
It went great. And I just got my shirt.
Jamie said, I don't know what cookout Ciara's going to. And I said, no, this is
Oh,
how
you
she-
talked to him. I know. Well, I told him that yesterday. I was like, y'all said something about a cookout. I don't go to cookouts like that.
Well, you you won't be invited to any of my cookouts. That's what I can say.
That's fine.
But go ahead, Ciara. You want to start it off, sweetie?
Hey, y'all.
You're welcome. We know you love it.
Hey, guys. Welcome to Codependence.
Stay
Another
still
episode.
so people don't think, you know,
What?
that you look high like you did last time.
Like in my Watch What Happens
Correct.
live.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to help you out.
Okay, fine. All
I'm
right.
trying to help you, but also if you want to look high, you can
Oh,
look
are you
high.
antsy today? Are you antsy?
I'm
Are you on
not.
edge?
I'm on edge.
You're on edge.
But
Okay.
the period is perioding.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
I spend a lot of my time under
It's
heating pad.
pre-perioding.
But my period is like my worst part.
Yeah.
That's when I have like the worst
Yeah.
cramps and stuff, and also deal with all the
emotions. Mm-hmm. You get like a little short, like a little snappy.
I'm like ready to cry right now.
Are you ready to cry right now?
Not because I want to, because I'm so overly emotional.
Okay.
Look, the tears are coming.
I know. I know. I'm not laughing at you. I'm just like,
nothing has even happened yet.
oh my God, nothing's happened yet.
I know.
Okay.
I told you I've been having like some days.
Okay, so let's take a deep breath. Let's just
I
hold at the top
it's gonna be a long day.
and breathe out.
Yep, we're breathing.
Okay. You are so you're okay. The thing about it is that you're a cute crier.
Actually, I've never been told that. I feel like I'm a Kim K, like ugly cry. Actually, well,
Kevin K.
Kim K,
Oh, Kim K.
like her mean
Oh,
cry.
yeah.
I never want to be that.
I feel like I look like her when I cry too.
You're like a silent crier. It's kind of creepy.
A silent crier.
Like you cry, like the tears will fall, but they're not like you don't. There's no there's no even like you don't even have like the sniffle. You just like literally they're just streams of tears. It's weird.
But you know,
It's
but
like
if I'm
very Chucky
talking,
doll.
okay, great, thank you. But if I'm talking, my voice definitely shakes and like
Yeah, but usually when you're that sad, you just don't talk. You just cry.
yeah. Okay, so now that we've got our crying habits out of the way, all right. So I feel like we're going to touch on a topic that everyone's kind of been wondering about. And obviously, we wanted to give you the space and time to process on your own. And
I feel like a loser already.
Why
Because
do
I'm
you
like, I can't even, it's like I can't even handle my own emotions.
that's not indicative of you being a loser.
Well, all I'm saying is the haters, I'm giving them a lot of content to work with.
Okay, well, first of all, fuck them and fuck
That
what
too.
anyone else has to say, because would love to see them be on TV and having to navigate certain situations.
It's only for the strong. It really is.
Yeah, it's not for the weak. So whatever anyone else has to say about it, it's like they're not even in our position. I'm gonna give you a minute.
I am okay. I just will try to speak as clearly as possible.
Okay.
So that I can be understood through the snot and tears.
Yeah. And
well, like, yeah.
should we just like come out and say it like what we're talking about?
Sure, let's
Okay.
get into it.
All right, so let's chat about the Oliver situation. I feel like a lot of people have been inquiring and wanting to know, and
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because I'm already crying.
whatever you have to do to get through it is totally fine with me. But
I feel like if I had done this like even 1 week ago, I wouldn't have been this emotional. But I just got to see a lot of episodes for like the end of our season, and that just like
yeah.
sent me into places that I didn't think I still felt.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Let's start up by saying that like I had actually zero idea
I know.
that anything had happened the last week of filming, or even on the timeline that you had found out about things.
Well, I didn't share it with anyone, mainly because I didn't have the full story. It's really hard when you're filming to find the time to talk to your significant other, like, privately.
Right. There is no
privacy.
There's
and
microphones everywhere. There's cameras everywhere.
And so, like, I obviously got the DM, and I asked him about it, but he really undersold it. Like he
As
did
they typically do.
he made it seem like it was like outside of our like exclusivity
Mm-hmm.
timeline and like it wasn't anything. It was like chatter more than anything.
So Oliver cheated.
Yeah.
He is a cheater.
Like perpetually, yes.
Yeah.
Like I will say this, like the main reason I'm doing this is because I don't want any other girl to fall under his trap. Because like
Yeah.
if I'm being honest,
Yeah.
I've heard from people in his past. Like I heard from his
Totally.
ex's friends, his ex's girlfriends primarily that would reach out to me on Instagram, but also like there's so much chatter on Instagram. It's hard
Yeah.
to kind of like figure out.
Yeah, decipher what's real, what's not.
And like
what's
is it like a matter of
bait.
like, oh, like he's like on a platform, so that's
Yeah.
you know, like it could just like be spun in so many different ways.
Yeah, it's hard to really debunk like what's not authentic versus what is authentic, especially because it's like, well, they're strangers. We don't know any of these people half the time. And even if it's like we are doing our due diligence and creeping and going back, like honestly, who has time for
and
that?
trust me, like no, I have time for that. Like I make time for that. I'm the FBI. I did.
Okay, well, you're better than I.
I really feel like I did a lot of work to make sure I was like getting the full picture.
Yeah. Which I think you are very good at being FBI and finding things out. But I will say knowing you and even obviously you being one of my best friends and we talk constantly, didn't see this coming. Didn't see it coming at all. And I feel like I knew about his background, which maybe you did.
No, I didn't.
But
Unfortunately,
like just
it
knowing
would make me feel better in a way if I could be like, oh yeah, like that was obvious, but like it
Right.
wasn't.
Because like we were kind of like a little, what do we call us? Well, I was the second girlfriend. Like we always joked
We were
around
very much in it
very
together.
much in the relationship with you guys. Like we would joke around about me being the second girlfriend, or he would like text you and be like, all right, well, what did Ciara say? Because I know you already told Ciara. Like
Right.
we had such a
it was like an open
close rapport, I felt like, which obviously finding this out, I was like, wow, you're
what's wild
leading
is
a
that, like,
totally
you have
different
not had
life.
any contact since knowing any of this.
What?
You haven't had any contact with him since knowing any of this.
Well, I'm pissed that you didn't tell me right when it okay, so so when it happened, when Maya got the first initial DM from the girl on Instagram, like this is a weekend that we were actually filming, and we we were going to see Lauryn Hill in Montauk on that was it Monday or something?
I think so.
Like when we left the house
on our DM on a Friday.
Right. And
we had already had plans, booked a hotel,
right?
All of us together.
Yeah, like we were staying in one room because we were like, if all goes to shit this weekend, we're going to see Lauryn Hill. It's gonna be fine. We go out there. Not gonna lie, Maya, you were kind of acting a fool. Wasn't really sure what was going on. You're just being a version of Maya that I'm like, okay. So I didn't really think much of it. And then we're weird on the way home, like, but I was in and out of sleep. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then you were just like, I have to tell you something I can't tell you. And for literally months you did this.
I could not,
like, you couldn't tell me.
I couldn't even like find the words.
You couldn't even get it off of your lips. So you're like, I can't talk about it with you. I'm gonna cry. I'm like, okay.
I can't even think about trying to tell you because it was that difficult.
I was just like, tell me whenever you're ready. It's fine. All I know is that you guys are done and you're over it. Yeah. But I think a couple months had passed before you actually even told me what had happened. And I was sorry. Aw, you're going to make me cry.
Don't cry.
I know. But I was really like appalled and flabbergasted that, this was a different life that he was living. Yeah. This was the life that he was leading and we had no fucking idea.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think at the end of the day, like, when it comes down to it, thank you. God, I'm like, this wasn't supposed to be this emotional, but to learn more and more, like, the sheer volume.
Yeah.
I think that's what's nothing makes it like easier or better,
Right.
but like if it had it been like one off, I
Right.
kind of would have been like, okay, well, like whatever, like that's not a reflection of me type of
Yeah.
thing. But like the sheer volume is just so hurtful and
Yeah.
just like so disrespectful.
It's so disrespectful. And the betrayal.
The betrayal for me, it's also like I have such a close relationship with my family. Like
Yeah.
he made it such a point to meet
Yeah.
my family. I don't bring anyone around my family.
Right.
Like I'm very careful about that. And so it's like the fact that he like pushed to come home with me and like
Right.
and like he came home after like the main event.
Yeah.
So it's like you already knew what the fuck you were up to.
Right.
And you still like were selfish enough to like bring my family involved in it and all of that. And like I have to be the one to answer to that and all. It's just like
No, it's like fucked.
it's so fucked.
And it's weird because you were always very guarded and he was urging for you guys to take these next steps
We
and
were
to
in
be in a
therapy, we're, like,
relationship. Yeah.
Doing all these things that like seem to be building this like very healthy
Like strong foundation.
strong foundation.
Mhm.
Like we kind of were like, you know, laying everything out there. And like even to the point where, like our actual last real conversation was in therapy where you could tell that he still thought everything was going to be okay. And like honestly, our therapist laid into him like, "What the? Are you out of your mind?"
Right. Like you don't get
just,
to
like-
have your cake and eat it too. You don't get to
But also like she was so honest and like upfront with like her past traumas and like what the things that she was actively trying to avoid, and you just like embodied them.
like what you were like
your
my
past
past traumas.
fears
Yeah.
And my past traumas,
Right,
he was
right,
well
right.
aware of, and
Yeah.
it was like well discussed in therapy.
Yeah.
And like he
Yeah, okay.
acted on them.
Yeah. And was all of that.
Yeah,
Which was like which is like your biggest fear come true.
correct. So it's like how I mean,
I feel like that's such a like cheating in itself is obviously hurtful, but it's when a person knows all these different things about you and still chooses to go that route. I feel like that's another perspective that becomes so fucking hurtful when you start to break it down and really think about like the nuances in it, because it's like you know, my ex cheated on me however many years ago now, and I remember I actually was not privy to my dad cheating in his relationship with my mom before I was even born, and I had no idea of this. My mom had told me, and I just remember just being very devastated by that. Still something that makes me so sad because that cheating is just so fucking hurtful. It affects more people than the person that you even...
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at how it's just like a crying podcast now.
But it is like, but it's super hurtful. It hurts more than the person that you're in the relationship with. And yeah, I mean, I remember finding that out and just being so devastated by that. It kind of did rock my world in a bit. And he turned around and did the same thing to me. And I was like, were you not there when I
Right.
found out, like, you know, okay, my dad had cheated on my mom in her relationship and what that did to
Like
me. And
he
you're
of all
gonna-
people saw how it affected
Yeah,
you.
you saw
and then,
that
like, did
and-
the same thing.
Right. We had conversations about it. Like,
It's like complete disregard for
Yeah,
you
like,
as a
how
person. Like you
disrespectful.
never could. Like how can you define that as love or
Right.
like? There's no respect there.
no respect.
Or you're just so fucked with. I'm not at the point where I can understand that these people are so fucked up that like
yeah.
no, like I'm a rational
Where like
thinker.
I think it's like a personality disorder almost. But it's, and I could not fathom doing that. Now, okay, it's happened to me. I could not fathom doing that to someone else because it does really fuck with your mental. It fucks with everything what you know yourself to be. It honestly rewires you in a way that just is like, it rocks your fucking world.
Like your psyche.
And it's so hard to come back from. Not saying it's impossible, but it's hard to come back from. And it does take a lot of fucking time. And it takes a lot of being real with yourself, but it also takes a lot of grace. And I feel like you do have to give yourself some grace in
Yeah,
the
I'm not great at
situation
that.
of it isn't a you thing as much as it does feel like a you thing. It is, and I know this is like, it's really cliche and it's so corny, but they're so fucked up and that it's truly a them problem and not a you problem. You can walk around and maintain and uphold that lie for so long.
Well, it's also like, what
That's
the fuck was
wild.
even real?
Right. What's real? And also just as my friend, as my best friend, because I think that's like when I break it down, that's the part that's really fucking hurtful. Like I considered you a friend. I considered you
Oliver was
my best friend.
Like,
Right.
he really was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't understand treating people that you actually care about like that.
Yeah.
And like, you know, there have been conversations since all of this went down where he's consistently like, you know, you absolutely did nothing wrong. You were actually a very good supportive partner. Like when I asked you to adjust things, you did, and you were like always willing to listen and try to like hear my perspective. And it's like, that doesn't make me feel better. Like,
yeah,
knowing that I actually was like putting my like best foot forward in this situation,
right.
or
taking
like
it seriously,
like trying to do the best I could, and you know, even seek professional help like when things felt like a little bit lost. And we never had like issues. I guess I didn't know about the issues, but like our therapy was like really about a foundation and about like setting us up for some like life together, if you will.
Yeah. Which I thought was a different approach, because I'm not gonna lie, when you guys told me you were going and you were starting to do therapy with him, I think you were maybe like 5 or 6 months in it.
Yeah, it wasn't even
that long, but you guys like weren't committed to each other. I don't think you were exclusive even at the time. I don't know. Were you?
I can't remember.
Yeah, but either way, even when you told me, I
remember you were like, oh, like
I was like, this feels weird.
I think
you
it
don't
honestly
even
comes
want
down to the pace in which I moved, like that was me ignoring my gut is what I have to look back at and think it must be,
because there were so many times
that I tried to leave his ass. Like,
I tried to
like not
end
have
it.
him in my life, but he always doubled down and he always came back and like reminded or sold whatever dream, whatever it is. Like
he was consistent.
He was consistent
and
persistent.
Yeah, and that's the part that annoys the shit out of me, because I'm like, he literally didn't want to be in a relationship with you, but you talked her into it, and like you won her over. So you did everything that you needed to do. You won her over, and then this is what you fucking do with like, you know, when she's finally not giving into you, but she's like, okay, like thinking that we have a strong enough foundation to like now move into the relationship side of this.
Right. Like it was never me I was never like the pusher of that. I was never the enforcer to like get very serious and all of that.
Right.
I just like wanted time to figure it out.
Do you feel like you've had proper closure from the entire situation?
I wonder if I like know everything, and I don't know if it's like best to not obviously. I got an email from him early this year that detailed like all of his indiscretions.
Even before you got that email, did you want to know every single thing?
I don't think I needed to.
Yeah.
To be honest, like even in that email, I have IG handles and information on women that I've never even pursued to look them up, which is like a crazy thing. Like I'm such a curious person.
Right.
The fact that I have not looked these people up because I know it won't serve me. I'm like, what's the point really? Like, what is it going to get me more upset?
I mean, yeah, it was like, it gets to the point sometimes.
Also, like, what was his purpose in doing that?
To make himself feel better.
I honestly, that's the thing. It's like at the end of the day, like months later, 6 months after, you're still like self-serving.
Yeah. And that's like the common theme.
Oof. Yeah.
It's like in the heat of the moment, like in the past when I was cheated on with my ex, I wanted to know every single fucking thing, but I wanted to know it from that standpoint, so that I wanted to know everything so that we could potentially move past it.
See, that wasn't
which was
me,
which was crazy, but for me at that time, that's why I wanted to know everything. I'm like, okay, well, if you're just honest about everything, perhaps we could move forward.
Well,
but I think that's
lead
like
to so many like good things, even if it hurts in the moment. Like I think being honest,
but that's like sending out a lifeline that's, you know, I mean, that's sending out the floaty device without the fucking string on it. Like, you're
I
still
was
stranded
in
out there.
a similar position. Not that I wanted to know everything, but I think that in our conversations, he wasn't honest at all. So
He was not or was?
not. And
Yeah.
so, like, I thought that this was like a one-off isolated instance. Originally, I thought it was like
Right.
out of our, you know, exclusive like timeline or whatever. So I was like, what? I can't even really be mad at that type of thing. But it wasn't until I actually and it was the only time in our relationship that I asked to look at his phone that's when I was like, oh, this is really bad. Like, this is really, really, really
And when you went
bad.
through his phone, did you see multiple different girls?
So the way I did it, we were on a plane. He couldn't go anywhere. We were like stuck on this plane for about 3-4 hours, and I scrolled through.
Wait, is this because like after we came back from the summer, you guys still went to that wedding together?
Correct, because he was still keeping up appearances.
Okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
I didn't
remember.
even know everything until after that wedding.
Right, guys. Also, Mya still had not told me everything that had happened at this point, and she calls me when she like lands back in New York. She goes, "I need you to call me an Uber. Just know that like I'm officially done from this point on. I cannot share an Uber with this man."
Like, yeah, he was like, we can go home together. I was
Yeah.
like, no, we cannot.
And I forgot, all your accounts were like shut down at the moment. So I called you per usual. So I called you an Uber home, and I was just like, okay, all right.
I learned everything. I don't know.
So
if it's
this was
everything.
right after that plane ride, which
Correct.
sometimes I'm like connecting the dots because it's making so much sense where you were like, okay.
Because I still did not know everything then.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that it really wasn't that bad, or
Yeah.
like it was something that.
You know what's annoying? I'm sorry to cut you off, but what constitutes that bad? Because you lying with 1 or 10 different chicks is fucking bad.
Well, it was also
And
like
it's
the fact that he. That plane ride was when I noticed like he can't be honest with me. So like
Right.
whatever.
Well, he's just like a perpetual liar.
Whatever story you're telling me,
Yeah.
it's not the truth. So whenever I thought I had the truth, the actual truth is I didn't.
Yeah.
And so I had to find it out for myself. And like I only looked to a certain point. Like I was like, okay, enough is a fucking enough. I'm never going. I would literally remember leaving the airport being like, never speak to me again.
Yeah.
I will like lose my fucking mind.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, it was like what I would go through his phone, I would find a girl's name and I would open it, and I wouldn't even go through their messages. I would search straight for pictures.
Oh my god, dude. That
I never read messages. I never had to.
Crazy.
Because I saw enough fucking pictures. Pictures that also I was receiving. Like pictures that I was like, oh, I know that picture. And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Dude,
I remember thinking the girl we sat like middle and aisle, and I remember the girl in the middle and window rather. The girl in the aisle, as soon as we sat down, was like, "Oh my god, I love you" from Summer House, and I was like, "Fuck, I can't even have a fucking fight on this plane like the way I want to." So I'm in silence, going through his phone, and I'm like looking at a picture, and I'm looking at him like I'm gonna fucking kill you, and like I'm worried about the bitch next to me who's going to like bring everything to God knows what, like
or who's just listening and like
who's just listening, and I was like, this is awful, but I was like, I also have to get this out of the way now before I ever come back and see, like, I'm never seeing you again.
Yeah,
I have not seen him to this day
since that plane ride. Rightfully fucking so.
Mm-hmm.
That is.
Mm-hmm.
No, that makes me want to cry just because, like, I know that feeling.
Don't cry.
I know.
Don't cry. It's just like asinine. It's disgusting. It's like behavior that I can't have in my life. And like, as much as I want to present as like a strong bitch, like I'm over it, whatever. No, but like that level of hurt I don't know if you ever get over it. Like maybe you can move on. I'm not even there yet. But like to share your life with someone like that, to then like have it betrayed in that way, it's just like, well, what's the fucking point anymore?
Yeah.
Now can we slash his tires?
We can do whatever you want. Like, yeah, I do remember you asked me to do heinous shit, and I was like, I don't even know why we're doing this yet. Like, fine, like I'm okay with it, but like, why are we doing it? No, that just like the pictures part. That part I remember.
I mean, the pictures weren't even that. I honestly feel like that was traumatic. But then, like, it was that email that I got this year,
Right,
6 months or so afterwards,
to just like set you back a little
and
bit.
then also for him to be like, he was like, "Hey, I wanted to wait to send you this email till the holidays were over so you could enjoy your time with your family." Like, you're still fucking trying to present like you're some shit, like you're
like
someone
you're a
that
good
has
guy. Like you're a good guy.
morals and like like you're a good fucking guy. Like you actually care about me. Like I didn't want to ruin your time with your family, so I'm sending this now. It was like January 2nd too. Like you couldn't fucking wait to send it.
Like I'm still enjoying the new year, you fucking asshole.
Right? Like I was like in Stoughton alone, like literally in that house by myself reading that email, and I woke up to that email. I was like, let me just get the fuck back in bed and never get out. Like, why did you feel the need to do
You
that?
should have came to Costa Rica with me.
I couldn't. I was watching the dogs, but like I just like I'm like it's still so self-serving.
Yeah. Like what good did that? I mean, I truly honestly and hope that cleared his conscience, because it did nothing, because it was truly only for him and to make himself feel better about the situation, which I guess, he's proven time and time again that he's about himself.
He's
and
a
whatever's
narcissist.
and whatever helps him heal. So like
But
good
what
for
is- what
fucking
the fuck
you.
does he have to heal from? He's never been treated like
I mean, he's
this.
obviously sick, because only a guy that can maintain talking to 11 different people at one time while also
How many?
upholding a relationship with you. 11? Did I have the number wrong?
No, your number was right.
Okay. Is a weirdo, one, and obviously has like a personality disorder. But at the end of the day, like,
No, he's not an ex I wish well.
Yeah,
No,
for sure.
I'm like, no, I don't have that in me. Maybe that makes me like a small person. That's fine. I will take it because like I'm a small, honest person, and that's more than he can ever say.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I really do think that you were honest with him when you didn't want to be with him, when you did want to be with him, when your feelings were fluctuating between yes and no and everything in between. I can say that is one thing about you. You're always fucking honest, whether your tone is appropriate or not. Like, you're pretty consistent.
Transparent.
Yeah, you're pretty transparent and consistent on that note of at least voicing what you do and do not want. So I fucking hate cheaters.
I just like don't. Well, the other thing is, don't push me to be in a exclusive relationship with you if you
Yeah.
want to be with other people. And on top of it, like, hindsight's 2020, but like he would get jealous during the summer.
Oh my god, no, I remember.
During summer filming.
And you know what the fuck that was? That's like him
It's projecting.
projecting.
It's
him
projection.
He's projecting literally everything that he's doing himself. Oh my god, my ex used to do that same shit to me. He'd be so jealous of something so minor, and I'm like, what are you even, like, why are you even upset about this? Come to find out, he was cheating on me with several other different women, and it was like, obviously hindsight is 2020, like you just said, but at that time I couldn't figure out why he was so jealous, and it just all clicked into place when I found out that he was cheating. And it got to the point where I was like, I'm not a jealous person, and I'm not trying to make myself become a version of you because you're fucking insecure. And like,
Well, honestly, like that's where it all stems from. Cheating comes from insecurity, which like
yeah. Because it's like you need your ego stroked at all times. And if this person, you, and you're not, like, look, we can heal our childhood traumas all fucking day long. But what I'm not going to do is coddle you and enable you. And
But also, I was extremely responsive to like, oh, he needs like words of affirmation, which is something like we would hear, or I would hear from him.
Right.
And like, I would actually be thoughtful enough to like do that.
Yeah.
To the best of my ability. Maybe it wasn't everything he wanted at all times. And I'm sure like I am not a perfect person by any means, but like there was the intention there to
love him the way that he needed to be loved. Like he felt love.
Yeah.
But but your partner can't be
I can't fix you is
can't
really what
fix
it comes
you, and your
down
partner
to.
can't be responsible for making you feel a certain way at all times of the day, at all points in time. That's just like not realistic. So it's like if you genuinely need to have other outlets and you need several other different people to like fill this void
The
that
thing is, like,
you
I
are.
know for a fact he still did not feel whole after all of his shenanigans.
No, because you never fucking do. You never do. Like the thing with cheating is it's greed. It's you're never satisfied. It's a never-ending cycle that you get yourself on. And I've never cheated, but I can imagine it is this way where like you get an inch, you need another inch, you need more. It's always like this repetitive thing where you just constantly need more and more and more, and you're never feeling satisfied. It's like an addict. Like you never get as high as your first high because there's no self-control. There's no self-control. There's no appreciating what's in front of you.
Yeah.
You're never.
It's just never it. It's actually kind of crazy that we haven't run into him. Like you or
I
me.
would say, yeah. And I know I still follow him,
That's okay.
but
That does not bother me.
mainly just to see where he's at. For me to keep a wild eye. It is kind of crazy that we've never run into him. I've run into his friends, though.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, eventually.
I feel like especially with summer coming, it's going to happen.
Right.
I just don't know if there's anything I need him to say to me that's going to make anything okay.
Would you ever... What your dream interaction with him if you did see him in person?
I don't have one. He'd be on
Yeah.
fucking fire. Like,
Right.
I would not be pouring water.
Like,
water
not
on
even
him.
him acknowledging your presence, maybe saying hi or like.
I think I'd be offended if he didn't acknowledge me, but also
Yeah.
I would never acknowledge him. So it's like,
Correct.
what am I gonna want? Like,
Right.
in what way would that be? I don't even know how that would even manifest.
Yeah.
Like, what I don't want to hear, which is like his favorite line, even as of like the most recent time we spoke, is like, "You're the love of my life." Like, I still love you. I don't want to hear that. I don't really.
Yeah.
Those words are so empty to me. It's also like you don't treat people that you love like that.
Right.
Um.
Do your parents know what happened?
Well, they're about to find out on the show.
Mm.
So no, they don't. It was so traumatic for me. I could not even talk about it. Like, I couldn't even tell you.
Mm-hmm.
I never told my sister even. Like, I had someone else tell my sister.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's also like extremely embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, yeah, I mean, I was talking to my friend the other day and he's like, well, that's why you just like don't date people on TV. And it's like, well, obviously you hope that it doesn't end up that way, but like for it to be handled the way it did, like it's just so disrespectful. Like you could have just been a little bit more thoughtful of like my career, or like the fact that I now have to be the one to watch it back,
right? And you're gonna
like,
be the
deal
one
with the backlash of it, and to deal with like the people online. Probably like there are going to be people that will say like,
it's like you're gonna
you
have to
deserved
answer.
it. Some people are going to tell me I did, and like I don't think anyone deserves this.
No.
Like I don't care
definitely
who you are.
Not. You're the one left having to answer to
Yeah,
a
like,
lot of the
I'm
decisions
still dealing
that
with
he
it
made.
Almost a year later.
Yeah.
And I will continue to have to, like, for whatever length of time. I'm always connected to this.
Yeah.
And it's just like, he just didn't have to do me like that. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Knowing what I do. The same way that, like, if he like worked from home, we didn't walk my dogs around like his building, like, because we were thoughtful of his job. Like, no one was thoughtful of mine.
Right.
And I'm like, why was I doing all these things to like put you first, and you could not even think once to put me first?
Yeah. I don't want you to I understand like that feeling of embarrassment, but
I mean, like, unfortunately so many people get cheated on. It's like not even like
and embarrassment
news.
is quite honestly like the first thing that you feel, because it's like
that's why I couldn't tell you.
It's like feelings of inadequacy that you have that are validated in that moment, and it's so not about like you have nothing to be embarrassed about. Like, you didn't do this.
Yeah,
you
but
didn't.
Like, everyone has their own insecurities. I think also being on TV like heightens them and all of that. Totally. And it's just like, he already knew what it was like to deal with the public. Right. Or like for me, he saw what it was like for me to deal with the public.
Right.
Like how it affected me.
Right.
And he chose to like add to that in a way.
Yeah.
is what it feels like. So it's just like, damn, it's like double slap in the face, like slapped by strangers, but also like slapped by like someone I consider to be the closest person in my life.
Right.
Yeah, like I don't wish him well. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want good for him. But you know what I will say?
What?
When this all came to light and he spoke to his mom was like, it's gonna be one of two things. She's gonna like boss up and know that she's too much fucking woman for you
Mm-hmm.
and she will never come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or she's just gonna like basically like let it slide.
Right.
And like to hear that, I was like, no, his mom is right. I never met his mom. Never got there. Like I was supposed to meet her very soon after all this came out. I still want to recognize myself at the end of this and know that like I'm actually better than this. Like I don't fucking need this. I don't deserve this. I'd rather be alone. I'd rather cry about you every day for the next year than like have to deal with your betrayal like that.
Yeah.
So I cry every day.
And a fake friendship. Yeah. And that's fine. And honestly, that's unfortunately what you have to do. I can speak from experience. I did not tell my mom for almost a year and some odd months after it happened. And this was a guy that my mom thought I was going to marry.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I didn't tell my mom. I don't even think my dad still knows.
He knows now.
He probably still doesn't know. Just because, yeah, I was so embarrassed. And it did get to the point. I like what you said. Like, either you're going to boss up and realize and recognize that you don't need this shit. And for a long time, I was a sad fucking girl and I cried all the time. And there was a part of me that missed him so much that I was like willing to sacrifice like my own sanity to be with him because I like thought that I loved him. But I remember I moved out of my mom's house and it kind of just all clicked. I started living alone. I was working in the hospital and which was like my first job, my first big girl job. And it just all clicked to me at one moment. I was like, I don't actually have to fucking deal with any of that shit.
Yeah.
And I'd rather be alone, like you said. I'd rather be crying every day than turn into some jealous, fucking crazy chick over what? This guy?
Exactly.
Like this next guy, because I know I'm not that next bitch. Obviously, I've proven to like really fucking flourish without him, and like obviously you'll do the same.
Yeah.
But I think now I'm at the point, and I know I tell you this, like you will get to the point one day where you're like, thank God he fucking cheated on me.
I'm like happy to not have that like just like a leech in my life, basically.
I mean, yeah.
That alone makes me feel grateful, but I'm also like very much looking forward to moving. Like, the apartment I'm in was like, he was there all the time. Like, I'm still, as I'm moving, throwing stuff out from him. Like, I threw out like all those notes that I had yesterday, which is like good. It's good. It's cleansing. Like, I'm not taking that shit with me, but almost like, why the fuck is this still here? Or like some dumb gift he gave me. I'm like, I don't fucking want that.
Yeah.
And I know it's like wasteful in a way, but I'm like, I don't care.
It's not wasteful. It's as you move on and as you move on and as you move up, like for anything that he could have gotten you, honey, trash. You can buy it yourself. And it just doesn't mean anything anymore. And like you will be thankful one day. You will look back and be like, thank God he cheated on me, because I wouldn't be doing A, B, and C if I was still with you, and my mentality would be different. And it is very much, you thank God for putting you in certain situations, and it feels like a horrible storm in that moment, but like you do come out on the other side of it, and it's fucking flowers and gardens.
I haven't seen the flowers yet, but I think they're growing.
No, I think they are. And like, I hate him.
I hate him.
And I hate that he fooled us all.
I hate that I hate him because like that's still like power that he has in my life. But yeah, I think that the biggest like sentiment from all my friends is like, wait, I believed him.
Yeah,
like,
I believed
a lot
him.
of my friends, like he would come to weddings with me. He met like pretty much everyone that was important in my life, including my family, and they all were very much in support of him.
Yeah.
And I think that's,
I mean, I just am still like, sometimes I'm like, he did a really good job. He fooled me, and like,
well, like it was to get
but also
some
I
little
just
clout.
think like just a sweet old personality disorder. Just a sweet old personality disorder. He's obviously got a lot of insecurities that he's battling.
That is
Yeah.
true. He just like he'll.
I mean,
It's
like,
not
I know
my
you
problem.
wanted to like kind of curtail your reaction that last weekend of filming, but
Well,
like
because also I wasn't given the full picture. Like I
Right.
wasn't told the truth. I was told a version of the truth that would make things feel
like he didn't do anything that was that bad or so bad, or he's still protecting himself, like
and
lying.
like he lied about that for weeks.
Right.
Weeks. It was not until I finally was like, let me see every single DM,
Right.
every single text, all of that, especially with the one person that did reach out to me, which also like, fuck you, bitch. Like, you're not helping me. Like, you didn't do that for me.
Right.
She reaches out to me still. She's blocked now, but it's also like, don't fucking.
Especially because she was like still trying to like hang out with him, and
well, now they follow each other on Instagram, so I hope they live a happy, like, dysfunctional life.
yeah.
But for her to continue to like
Sorry, you just reminded me of oh my god. Okay. Literally, this exact scenario has happened to me. Like when my ex cheated on me, I had one girl who messaged me, sent me all their text messages from like the past 2 months between them. Sent me all of their text messages. I forgive him. We're trying to work it out because I think it's just one bitch. She then reaches out to me like a couple weeks later and she was like, hey, like I just want to know like how you got over it. Da 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 da. Da. How did you like?
we are
move
not
past
friends.
it?
You are
Da, da, da,
not
da.
my friend. You are
I
literally
was
the other
like-
bitch. Don't fucking talk to me.
I was like, are y'all still chatting? She's like, yeah, occasionally, but like I just don't.
no.
I'm
Don't fucking
like,
talk to me.
wait, what kind of vortex am I fucking living in?
No.
Like for you to still reach out to me and ask me for advice.
And like
anyway.
in what, like, you are also delusional.
Yeah,
in what
you're
world do you
fucking
think that's
nuts
okay?
and you're fucking weird.
Like this girl
where's
reached out
your
to
mother?
me recently to tell me like, oh, it was good that I left Oliver, and I was like,
Yeah.
don't
like,
fucking talk to me. Also, Oliver, stop fucking talking about me. Keep my name out your fucking mouth. That's the last time I spoke to him. That was my that was my sentiment. Don't fucking put my name in your mouth again. I'll lose my shit. Deep breaths.
Deep breaths.
Okay, well, did you have anything happy happen this week?
I got Jasper back.
That's a happy thing. Are you
Yes.
gonna come visit me when I move to Brooklyn?
Dude, I actually am really excited for this like little new chapter for you.
I need a new chapter.
Yeah.
I need some.
So much so that I'm thinking about
I
giving
know.
up my lease and moving to Brooklyn with you.
I need some newness, some freshness in my life.
Well, today I spent, pretty much all of my first half of the day in Brooklyn, and I loved it.
What part of Brooklyn were you in?
Williamsburg.
Okay.
Mhm. And I was just walking around, and I went to a coffee shop and did some work, and I did some things for my taxes because I haven't filed those yet. And it was so calm compared to Midtown.
Isn't it? It's a weird. It's like, well, for me, I see it. I'm like, ugh, I'm in the suburbs type of thing, which is like maybe not the right attitude to have.
I get
But also, like,
suburb vibes.
I live a suburban life, maybe like more than I'd like to admit.
Yeah.
Like I am a homebody, as you
Yeah.
know. I don't leave. Now that I'm having this terrace, I'm never leaving.
You're never gonna leave. You're gonna get a hot tub. You're gonna
have
get
my outdoor couches. I was
Yeah.
just talking to Craig. We're gonna do some outdoor pillows, like
Oh my
hook
God.
it up outside with
Wow.
the lights and everything. It's gonna be a sewing down north. A little
sewing
event,
up north.
up north event.
Sewing up north.
Is that a thing? Has he done that yet?
No. But
Maybe I want the page. with
Stitching
Sorbo
up
collection.
north. That's what page.
Is that what page?
That's
Okay,
what
we'll
page
do
called it.
that.
Stitching up north.
And I'm gonna be a real adult, but I'll still be lonely.
Not if I move to Brooklyn, bitch. Just
It's not. You don't need to move to Brooklyn for us to be okay.
I know that, but like I think I want to move to Brooklyn. And it could be just because you're moving to Brooklyn, but who's to say?
I'm so happy we have the documented.
Who's to say? But my lease is coming up in July, and I just think
So are you gonna at least look?
no, I'm for sure gonna look. I do want to look. Because I've already seen a few places on Street Easy that are really cute, and I do want a 2-bedroom, and I just feel like I could.
What
do it in
about
Brooklyn.
what about your what you just built?
The
What's it called?
I don't know, like an armoire.
Yeah,
An
that.
armoire. Yeah, like I built that, but here's the thing: if I have a second bedroom, I can just put it in the second
All in
bedroom,
there, yes.
and then I can get more because I do want my clothes to be enclosed.
I mean, for the amount that we actually go out, plus every time we Uber anyway,
Dude. Okay. So I was talking to my friend Eli today, and you know what he said to me? He said, you know, you live in Midtown and everyone lives pretty much below 20th.
That is also true. It's not like we're in like
She's
the
like,
hot part of Manhattan.
No, totally not. He's like, no one's really ever coming up to you. He was like, but people are coming into Brooklyn, and depending on where you move, however close you are to the bridge, he's like, it's not that much further to go up to
really
Midtown
not.
as it is to go to
It's
Brooklyn.
really not.
And I was like, that's such a good point. And he's like, but people are perpetually never coming to Midtown, but they will always, if anything, come into Brooklyn.
That's true, is what I'm learning. I don't want to say like, oh yeah, I know that, because I'm like, I'm not going to fucking Brooklyn.
Right. Which we both have that attitude.
But
I know
it is true. Because even we've like ventured into Brooklyn every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay, can I end this on a rant? Because you know I'm good for that. So online, there's this girl that's on TikTok that's getting completely torn apart because she started talking about the seasoning police. She's like she's a food TikToker, like a food content creator, whatever. She's trained. I think she worked in like some Michelin or like up and coming, like high regarded restaurants, whatever.
She's Michelin trained.
I don't know if she's Michelin trained. I don't want to give her all that because I just don't know. But she's professionally trained, and she came. First, this is like a twofold rant because she came and she tried to talk about the seasoning police, which I get attacked by the seasoning police every time.
Who are the seasoning police?
I'm not going to label them, but it's the people. It's generally the people that come to you and say you only added salt and pepper to your food.
Oh, okay.
That's like not enough. Like they
they
want
everything.
Garlic. What is it? They want lemon pepper. They want seasoned salt. They want garlic, onion, But like if you like make food with like fresh onion, fresh garlic,
right, you don't
fresh celery, whatever, all the things that are in your seasoning mixes, they don't see it as such. They see it's like you are under seasoning your food. So this woman came out and was like, I'm so fucking tired basically of the seasoning please, when really like, oh, you want me to put this rub in? This is what's in this rub. It's dried pepper, dried garlic, dried onion. This everything I actually made with fresh ingredients. And I would like to say this to the seasoning police. If you don't like my food, don't make it.
Correct.
Or add whatever seasoning you see fit.
I think I have a comment on this.
Please.
Because I think that's very much, I think that's very much like a black thing.
Okay, well, the thing is, the twofold is that black people thought that she was talking about them. And they were like,
yeah,
this feels like it's racially motivated.
I feel like it's racially motivated.
But, and like, maybe it is. And I will say, generally speaking, the people that are coming in my comments about seasoning are my people.
First, you shocked me. Like,
But I promise you my food tastes good.
Yeah. Also, I was really shocked to see your everything bagel seasoning on your eggs too. But that is something I want to try because I love everything bagel. But
well, you also said you didn't want me to bring hard-boiled eggs tomorrow, so we'll talk about that then.
Yeah, because they give me gas. Like whatever.
You go ahead and do your little wrap-up, sweetie.
The only thing I really have to say is that I love you, and next time we'll go slashing tires.
And Oliver's address is
yeah, feel free to send confetti in the mail.
Confetti, I would collect my dog shit for a week.
Okay. Well, probably nothing on record. Come on. Confetti, that's harmless.
Come arrest me for that shit, and then I'll tell them everything he did to me, and the police will let me go. Bat and I'll be gone.
Okay, guys. We'll see you next week.